right, what's going on, everyone? This is Vic at Vic's Cards, and this is the very first episode of Hobby Talk. I'm joined by Austin. He is a baseball scouting extraordinaire, and we're going to get into some stuff. So, Austin, please introduce yourself and what you do related to the hobby.
What's up, everybody? I'm Austin, like Vic said. I so as far as the hobby is concerned, I'm an autograph collector. I just reached 200 unique player autographs just the other day. So my collection changes and expands all the time, but I'm really trying to focus down and just stick with autographs. There's way too much crap going on out there, man, with the hobby.
I hear you. I hear you. So, I guess we're going to hop right into my first question. Jumping right off that. Who is the guy that you are looking to collect the most in terms of your autograph, your niche autograph collection? I know you're starting to focus towards Hall of Famers, but who's your dream Hall of Fame auto that you're looking to acquire?
Well, you being a Yankees fan, you'll be happy with this one, but it's Jeter. He was my guy growing up, so can't afford one right now, but hopefully someday I'll have one in the collection. And if I can only get one, that'll be enough. But if I can get more, I'll be even happier.
Perfect. I love that answer. Growing up with
Yeah.
Jeter as well, right down the street, a quick hour in New York City is awesome. All right, so we're gonna get into what you do with posting on Twitter. You scout baseball for the most part. I watch your videos on YouTube, your breakdowns. So how did you get into scouting baseball, and roughly, how many players are you scouting per year?
So that's a really good question. So originally I wanted to be a GM, and then I did international business, starting off at Sam. Well, first off, I was trying to do sport management. I figured that that would be more in line with what I was trying to do. Unfortunately, when I transferred to Sam Houston, they didn't have a they only had a master's degree for sports management, so I had to figure out something else. I ended up choosing international business, thinking like, well, a lot of GMs they have business related degrees, so I figured that that would be the route to take. Well, I want to say about 2 or 3 semesters in, I really started to hate it. Just the anxiety and the stress and everything of the degree was just too much. So I want to say around 2020, I got in contact with some guys on X, and one of them worked for Prospects Worldwide, which I am now a co-owner of, and he got me in contact with the guy that created the site. Uh, Dude, like completely flipped my mindset with scouting. Like I was a total uh, messing my words here. I was a total stat scouter back in the day.
Uh-huh.
Like I would go to college games, some high school games here and there, but in my mind it was like, oh, numbers, numbers, numbers. And then when I started learning from him, I was like, man, I'm doing this so backwards, so wrong. So now I ended up changing my degree over COVID, and I figured that GM was no longer the path. With everything that I learned, I figured that scouting is the direction that I want to go with my career. It's not the most practical career, especially coming from someone who has an Asian mother. Um, Especially Filipinos, there are a bunch of
Hmm.
nurses and caretakers and everything. So you know how it is.
Hmm.
Luckily she supports, but I do think that sometimes she wishes that I would be like a physical therapist or something. I'm like, no, that is not for me. Um, so yeah, I would say like once I started with Prospects Worldwide, that's when I really realized that scouting was the direction to take. It's been a really it's been a grind.
Hmm.
Um, and I've applied to the Jays, the Astros. I sold my soul when I applied for them. Um, the Red Sox, the Orioles. I know there's one other team that I'm forgetting that I can't think of off the top of my head, but it's been like 5 teams, and
Hmm.
I've heard two no's, unfortunately.
All right, but we're getting
Um,
there.
yeah, yeah, it's all gonna come down to the experience. And right now, I've got 3 years under my belt, and I'm actually starting a new project that I just created the other day called the Prospect Report. I don't have anything on there yet, but it's gonna be more just trying to write my thoughts out and everything.
Mhm.
Not so much the scouting report style, but just like who I like and why I think this way. I would say it's more of like a free writing kind of thing.
Gotcha. And how many players are you scouting per year to build that resume?
So that I don't really have a specific number. I would say I you- I don't know if I've shown you my spreadsheet, but I would say on my spreadsheet, it's like a database of everyone who I've seen. I would say I've probably got between college ball, probably got around 60 names on there, and then with the minors, I would say I probably got about 50 or 60 names on there as well. So I would
Pretty
say
good.
maybe, yeah. And this is like going back to 2022 is when I really started to hit
Okay.
things hard.
Yeah.
So I would say about 50 guys a year.
So relating it back to the hobby a little bit, if you had to give us a sleeper prospect auto that you're looking to acquire in the recent Bowman draft release, who would that guy be, and why do you like his tools or his prospects of making it to the major leagues?
I will go with Redfield. I did actually get a first Bowman Chrome Refractor autograph the other week. Really happy to add that. I covered him a lot at Sam Houston. So I don't think he's gonna be like a big time star or anything. As a matter of fact, I have like a 45 hit, 45 power on his grades, but he is a really good defender in center. I think he could stick in center long term. And I do think that he's the kind of guy where if I mean, I'm gonna be frank, the Angels, probably not the best place for him, but like if he gets dealt to the right team, I think that he's a guy whose grades could improve at the plate. So I could see him being like a 50 hit, 50 power if with the right development. Right now, the main reason why I put 45s on both his hit and his power is he was facing rack competition. And I mean, the exit velos weren't there, but he was hitting the ball hard. So I'm kind of worried about like how he's going to transfer or like how it's going to translate in the pro ranks. I felt that was a very realistic expectation, but he is a plus runner, so he's a good athlete. He's always been a guy that's been overlooked. Like, I don't quote me on this because I'm pretty sure I'm wrong on this, but I think that Sam Houston might have only been the only offer he had coming out of
Okay.
JUCO, or one of the very few. So he's a guy that was overlooked, and then he went to the Cape, had a really good Cape, and then went fourth round to the Angels, and he was actually such a transfer. Thank God he didn't go to Georgia.
Okay.
So yeah,
So he's been in scrappers kind of whole life, his whole high school life, scrapping
yeah,
to get to that next level.
for sure. And he's a really good dude because I did get to interview him for a class, and from what I got, a really, he's got good humility. I think he's a guy that should be a good team guy. And then yeah, if that one tweak or two, the right team, I think will get his bat to the next level.
Awesome. So moving on to the next thing, basically still in that same realm, but just a little more for the top tier guys in the minors. So I guess the thing that I want to know is who is the prospect coming into 2024 that you're most excited about that can make the biggest leap, come out the gates hot, maybe even make a roster at a spring training. But who is your prospect that you're, really excited to see come, the 2024 season?
That's another really tough question, man. You're hitting hard right now. Um, as far as the guy who I think could break out of spring training, I'm going to go with Langford,
Mhm.
Wyatt Langford. I did catch his pro debut at the ACL. Dude made it to AAA. He's got plus power, plus hit. Pretty good plate discipline. I think the big thing is he's going to need to improve his routes in the outfield. He was a catcher coming through the prep ranks, so that's going to be a bit of work.
Okay.
But his bat is legit. I think that so the Rangers have Leote, they have Duran as an option in the outfield. They also have Garcia and then Evan Carter. I think if Langford has a really good spring training, he's going to push someone. I don't want to say to like DH, but there's going to be shifts around, So because with the potential that his bat brings, I could see him being a guy that if he makes it out of spring training, he might hit like 20 home runs as a rookie, hit around 260. Most guys don't reach their peak around until they're like 26, 27.
Yep.
So it's going to be a few years in the making still, but like the way that he's shown with his bat and also his understanding of the zone and his ability to adjust, I think that everything is there. It's just gonna be a matter of reps.
And then just building right off that, because I've been big on Paul Skeens. I've been watching him a lot. Is he a guy that we could see debut in 2024? And is he the real deal in your opinion?
I think there's a little bit of risk with schemes, not too much, but I think that if the Pirates aren't careful with him, he looked really advanced in college, but pro ball is a totally different thing. I had him comp to Verlander in my scouting report that I did of him. I think he had the best slider in the draft, 80 fastball.
Yep.
I think he's a guy that we could see at some point in 2024. I don't know how guaranteed that is. They might want to bring someone like Priester up. I think it's all going to depend on the situation. There are a couple of guys ahead of him. And someone like that, you definitely don't want to rush the development because, he was a two-way player at Air Force. So this is like 2023 was his first year fully focused on pitching. And I think that's where a little bit of the risk comes in. And yeah, I think that depending on the situation, I do think there is a chance that we see him in 2024.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool to see it, number one overall pick get up that fast. I think he only had a handful of starts in the minors when he got drafted. And then they shut him down before the season from what I saw. But he looked electric. I think he had one poor start, but again, that fastball was coming out of his hands pretty good. Good run on that slider, good run on that fastball up. He's hitting over 100 pretty consistently. And I guess that's where I kind of see, like, can he be that Verlander, that workhorse that Verlander was, through when he was with the Tigers, that main stint where he was, pumping innings, hitting 99 consistently? Or is he going to be more like a DeGrom where, you see him breaking down as he kind of comes through, a lot of toll on DeGrom's body. I think Skeens is a bigger physical specimen than DeGrom is, but, same kind of deal. DeGrom's a shortstop coming in, when he was in college before he transitioned over to being a pitcher. So it's just kind of what I look at with Skeens. I like what I see, but again, no one ever knows with any of these prospects. As you can see with my Yankees, as they just kill prospects left and right. And I guess the last question I got for you, of course, I got to ask you about my Yankees. Where do you see the Yankees finishing this season? They acquired Soto. Obviously, still a lot of offseason to go. Still a lot of guys available, but where do you think the Yankees finish? And congratulations to your Rangers for winning their first World Series. I'm sure that was electric. There it is right there. Where do you see my Yankees finishing this season?
I could see the Yankees finishing around 92 and 70. I would say. I think that I would say their second half is going to be better than their first half because you got Dominguez coming back from injury. I think Soto might start off slow, and my biggest worry with Soto in New York, you know how Yankees fans are, being one yourself. They're going to hound him if he struggles. And seeing his first half struggles in 2023, I don't think it would get to him too much, but I could see him getting irritated and maybe like he struggles a bit more because of that. I'm not saying that he's going to suck, but I think it's going to take him a while to adjust to things. And so I think he's really going to pick up in the second half. So I could see the Yankees being around a 500 team in the first half and then really skyrocketing in the second half once they get Dominguez and Soto picks up. Hopefully Stanton can stay healthy. That's a big if, though. Judge as well. So if everything comes together, I could see them maybe being a 95 win team, but I think realistically I would say around 92 and 70.
And who do you have winning? Who do you have winning the AL East this year?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say the Orioles, honestly.
Yeah, I mean they're good, they're young, they're explosive. Your boy Kowser's out there. Hopefully he gets a little more playing time this season. But I do,
Sam Houston.
Sam Houston State plug. I do thank you for joining me, but before you go, where can people find your prospecting site and where can they find you on socials?
So my prospect website is Prospects Worldwide, and then the new one is the Prospect Report. And you can find me on X at AustinF0421. And then I also have a YouTube that I'm trying to start. That's Collecting Ink. And that's basically everywhere. I have a Facebook, but that's private. So
there it is. All right, Austin, I thank you for joining me. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the first episode of Hobby Talk. Catch me on the second episode where I get Brad from The Closet Cards to join us about his consignment business and how he got into it, debuting January 19th. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.